Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to my channel, Joy to the World. I am your reader, Melissa Joy. Now, I got to tell you, took a little break between recording the previous set on this Strength and Victory tour into you guys. And I think these things come out for me personally, but there's the great divide. It should be very Gemini. The Geminids, right? Wealth in the mountain road. Now on this other side, here's what we've got going on. Well, except it would look like these, okay? So it's like, what are your two eyes good for? Getting them on the same page. Over here, the mountain road is you're on the road to success and wealth. And that's where you're coming from. That is the blessing of who you are, but maybe you've been living this other life for quite some time, or there's melancholy, least to say. Disappointment in some affairs, as someone you know is undependable and insincere. Flighty like a feather. These scissors have been repaired several times, trying to keep a handle, keep a grip on things, just so you can keep moving and keep going. So it's interesting that those were chosen up front, and they've been here. And I was like, okay, time to go record. And they're like, I think, are these here for the next set, or what's going on? And Spirit's like, oh, look at it. That's Gemini. That's the split. But what I love about y'all, it's not one or the other. Not having to choose. Imagine going through the center. You're the gateway. You're that opening. And this is something wanting to open your mind. Fine. Queen of Swords and Two of Swords at the bottom. This one that will always be lonely. And this one that is casting vision out on the horizon. Okay? So which one are you going to be? Are you going to allow your circumstances and the way you were born and the way you were viewed and the way things have always been done to be a limiting factor for you, or even a deciding factor? Or are you going to get into the vision, establish the clarity with your mind, your adulthood, your autonomy, your own perspective and personality to view and division cast out, and not let those old snurgly things get a hold of you? You're up above it. And you look out and you cast your vision and you set your sights on where it is you are going, because you don't squander your time. You're here to enjoy all the beauty and the lusciousness and the delight that life has to offer. I love it, because behind the scenes, that's over the Six of Swords. Look at that. This is something sitting around sucking off of you. I don't know if you know, but this is the anglerfish, the one with the little light bulb. Well, the male, he attaches to the female. He's little, and he sits there, and he not only sucks off of her blood, but he also sucks the blood off of any debris. And she's like, well, you can imagine with that kind of mouth that it's like, and just crumbs falling away in the water, right? And he's sucking that up too. But that's not, as we can see, that's not your joy, pleasure, or satisfaction. You see life a completely different way. You see it with playful eyes, playful heart, which leads you into the Ten of Cups. That's what you're showing me over here. So let me prop that up, move it around, because you're getting totally off. You're like, now that we've solved that, let's get over here, Joy, and find out what is to come. What's the real story? Well, beneath that Two of Swords, the real story is, this might have been the experience that you were born into, but no longer is this experience for you. It's just like you could be the caterpillar shedding the skin again, or you could be the caterpillar shedding the skin once for all to enter an entirely different world. One where there is heaven on earth, where the air and the earth begin to combine, because this is the card that's behind that Two of Swords. See how there's question, there's doubt, there's not knowing, there's some ignorance, there can even be quite a bit of blame going on there. But here we have the Sun. Looking forward, opening the heart, getting charged up with that vision that is unseen as of yet. But just like your phone call, all the little, if you've seen Willy Wonka, Mike TV, where he breaks into all the little particles and he transfers across to be received on the other side, the giving and receiving. When you go to pick up your phone, like when it's transferring through the line, it's like beep, like a fax machine, but you're hearing actual words come out. So it's just like that sunlight. Everything needs sunlight to grow. Charging up your heart, letting your heart charge and grow and follow the sun. Follow the light, follow delight. I love it. You split over here, so that's what we're going to do. So what has already opened up is about the feather and the scissors, that insincerity, things being undependable, disappointment because of that, and not in some affair, but in that dynamic period. We have death in the Three of Cups. Living an entirely separate life, different from this world. Maybe yours was very unhappy, or having to seek in order to solve, where other people are out just living the life and doing the dream and getting cars and having kids and moving on, and problems don't seem to snuff them out or even ripple them. They just kind of bump and bobble along, and You know, deal with it, don't deal with it. Disguise it, don't disguise it. Drown it, don't drown it. You see what I'm saying? And they just stay in this kind of like happy little cabbage patch right over here. Somehow it doesn't impact their abundance, their flow, their money. There's no poverty there. But here there was that element of poverty. And poverty was that ignorance. Because ignorance is insurpassable, friends. It's not knowing what you don't know. And the more you step into the knowing, anybody who's done that, the more you start realizing all that you don't know. Correct? And you could just keep doing that forever and ever and ever. But that's what I love about Hummingbird Spirit. It says, okay, well, I'm here for a specific, a specified period of time. And here are the things that I want to see coming up in my life next. They're the things that I'm like picking up on in my body in this transmission of what I'm getting through the sun when I rest and reflect at night. Here is some of the world and the way and the information that's coming to me. Okay? That's a lot of personal satisfaction, fulfillment, and beginning to connect, coming out on the other side. Returning to yourself. Not having to exchange or sell or barter or separate to choose between. That always ends in death. Loss, endings, beginning again. If that's the kind of fresh new beginning you need, then that's the way you'll keep living. Okay? That's why the scissors are there. It just always ends that way. But see, that's the thing, is when a feather is attached to a bird, it's attached to that mind, it's attached to the vision and direction. It can take you anywhere and everywhere, and then you'll be happy. Bread baked beyond. I don't know what that is. So here we got Mountain Road and Wealth. Well, the Page of Swords is pointing the way. And the way might seem hard, it might seem arduous, or it might make you think, oh my God, it's going to take forever. I am so tired. I have so much I need to get there. And it's saying go alone. All those things that you think it requires or is going to take or is necessary just for you to set out, it's not true. It's not true. As a matter of fact, it keeps everything still. This begins to tumble down. This wealth, this prosperity, this provision, this future begins to come towards you as you start to move towards it. Okay? And see how there's a bit of winding in this, but that is what makes this a sure shot, a secure shot, a definite yes. Well, I love it because Page of Swords just jumped up with Queen of Swords. It's like when you get both your eyes going in the same direction on the same page. One for provision and one for protection. You've got everything you can need. Everything you can need. And then that's Mountain Road. So then we have the wealth coming in. Two of Pentacles in the Sun. How effortlessly and easy. It's just talking about following your strength, following your nose. The nose knows. The nose is like the highest zenith, the pinnacle of our guts, is what you're telling me. Very much the leader of the somatic system, and wanting you to turn around and come back to the truth of who you are instead of continuing to spiral out further and further and figuring on things that were already cut off and tossing off into space. Kind of like the astronaut out there, his cord gets cut and you just watch him just start, you're off into space. And it's like, well, that's enough of that. And that's where this cosmic Capricorn steps in, being sure-footed. Not knowing what the next step is. You notice Cappy's not looking down. Cappy's looking up, looking forward, looking ahead into the nebula, the creatable star, the creationary star, the in creation, T-I-O-N, the ongoingness, the perfection, the ongoingness, meaning it's all working out. Each thing is being provided and produced a day at a time, a moment at a time, a minute at a time. Let's get them in union with each other. Focusing on the same vision. This is like your inner vision, and this is your outer vision, and they're working together, which is interesting because these other two, remember, the provision and the protection, the watching out for oneself and the journey and the path, and the one creating the journey and the path. So talk about a dynamic system here, Gemini. That's very Metatron energy. Let's talk about the order of all things and how they all work, having the wisdom and the insight into that, the power, the provision, and the protection. Getting connected to the truth of who you are. Sail on down the line. All right, get it smooth and easy, Gemini. I'm excited you're here. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. And if you would do me a favor, reach over there and tap that like button for me before you go. All right, subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you here. Love you. Bye.